Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is yours truly, Taylor Jones. And do you have any idea what time it is? Well, for right now, I would like to present you the holiday edition from season 6 of Cold Man's Winter. Chestnuts roasting in a roasting fire, Jack Frost dripping down your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed around like Eskimos. But in my version, I would say this: folks play around in the snow. Everybody knows about the turkey and the mistletoes. Those two objects are the perfect ways to making this season bright. Young tiny tots with their eyes full of glow, open wide, they will find it hard to sleep through the night. You know that Santa Claus is on his way, bringing lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child has to turn out as a spy. They always spy to see if a reindeer knows how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from young as 1 year old to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Taylor Jones, and I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel, TC Jones Edits, as well as my Season 6 of Cold Man's Winter. And because of what went down, and I do mean all the way down, I want to say season's greetings to all. It's a tough one, ladies and gentlemen, but with all that being said, it's time to get down to the real nitty gritty. And for this episode, I want to tell you what life is like, especially when we are living in Christmas. So the name of this episode is called Christmas 2024. Now, when you think of Christmas and how it's going to turn out this year, you could think about all the people that you got out of touch with, had beef with, and fell out with because of what went down last Christmas. I was one of the individuals that fell for that. I actually got involved and I fell for the traps towards yourself. You too can be your own worst enemy. That's why a lot of people say the devil made me do it. No, you made yourself do it. But what does that got to do with Christmas? Well, it has to do with how serious you are based on what you say. Because a lot of people can do damaging things, evil deeds, especially in a society full of social media and whatnot. And people, they get away with everything, get away with murder. But at the same time, getting away with murder is not going to last long because it's going to come back and haunt you. I know what y'all thinking. How do you know? How can you tell that everything I did for the holiday season, this holiday season, is going to come back and haunt me? It's based on how you're going to spend your Christmas. For instance, Jane Doe and her friends, her girlfriends, were hanging out, having the time of their lives, listening to, let's just say that they listen to All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. Driving in a 1967 Pontiac GTO. Meanwhile, there was a guy named Billy. He listening to All I Want for Christmas Is You by Michael Bublé, and he's all by himself. The girls were having a good time. Jane Doe and the girls were having a good time. Billy was like calm, silent, just thinking about how crazy life is because he lost his family members. And because of that, the whole world started to flip upside down like you saw a few seconds ago. Because my so-called camera holder is not sticky enough and holding on. But it's like the whole world is flipping upside down. Nothing has changed, right? Well, since you brought up the car for the girls, what car was Billy driving, Taylor? Let's say he drove a 1965, no, 1964 Chevrolet Impala. Not the SS, just an ordinary Impala. And they actually ended up, Jane Doe and her girlfriends and Billy, they ended up at the stoplight. Red light, and they saw each other. And then their mood starts to change. He heard Mariah Carey's version. They heard Michael Bublé's version. Like, same song, different energy. They were feeling happy. He was feeling calm and quiet, stressed out. But where's the connection? Where's the joy? Where's the Christmas? Well, let's just say that because Jane saw how serious Billy was, let's say that she actually do a letter. Like, do a letter inside his window. And it landed perfectly on the passenger side of his car. And when the light turned green, Billy followed the girls, Jane Doe and the girls, to a local gas station. They parked. Billy read the letter. And the letter read, a party takes place Friday. Christmas party. And he accepted it. So they went to the party. But first, the girls had to get a couple drinks. But Billy got a couple drinks himself. But they were different. Jane Doe and the girls had some beverages. Alcoholic beverages like Colt 45s. But Billy, he brought some brisk, as in brisk drinks, fruit punch, blood orange. The girls were about to get toe up and drunk, energetic for the wrong reasons when they get to the party, drinking the night away. But Billy was smart and sober because he knew that drunk drivers were the cause of his family relative's death. Going wild and berserk, especially for holiday season. However, one of Jane Doe's girlfriends, she wasn't a drinker. She just went with the flow, like, she wanted to tell him, but she felt like it was not the right time to stand out. She didn't want to disrespect her friends. So when they got to the house party, they all got inside. Four of the girls, Jane Doe and her girlfriends, dressed up like they were a band. They dressed up like they were a biker gang. Four women, black leather jackets with a splash of red and white stripes. They all rock leathered boots, black leather boots to match the jacket, like the color scheme. Red, white, and black, mostly black. Meanwhile, Billy was dressed up in a what would he wear? Let's say that he had a flannel coat with a hood. Some that the rappers from the 90s would wear. Flannel jackets with a hood. He had a t-shirt that says, what would the t-shirt say? Let's say that the t-shirt had a record label. He had a Tommy Boy Records t-shirt. Black Dickies, Dickie pants, and Chuck Taylors with the star on the side. High top Chuck Taylors with the star on the side. They all came in all at once. Even though some of the people that came to the party, they looked at Jane Doe and the girls and Billy in two different ways. They saw the girls that were ready for party, like, hey! And when they look at Billy, like he wasn't fading that. He didn't care about that. He just went to find a spot where he feels safe. But also, not only did he bring the brisk drinks, like the sober drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, he actually brought a book. A book where he writes like a diary. But it wasn't a composition book. It wasn't a notebook, a spiral notebook. He had a book that was blank pages with his name inside and an address, as in if misplaced or lost, the address is located. So he started drinking one of his drinks and placed the others in the refrigerator or in the cooler. And everybody's getting crunk, getting turned up, like they were in ATL at a house party in ATL, bumping Crime Mob, bumping some Glorilla, some Dirty South raps, and some R&B. Like for instance, when they played the song "Pushing Inside of You" by Sons of Funk, which was an R&B group from No Limit Records during the Unbounded era, 1997. That song was so smooth, but instead of playing the vocal version, they had an instrumental version. Now, Billy has been sitting down writing his book, like the story of his life book. Because he was on some Gladys Knight and the Pips type vibe. If anyone should ever write my life story, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. He's trying to take it easy. But of course, Jane Doe and his girlfriends, a group of four, turned up, but 1/4 of the girls that saw Billy in his 64 Impala. It was a hard top, not a convertible, because it was a cold Friday night that took place. She came to him and they conversated, but when the song "Pushing Inside of You" came on, the instrumental, she felt calm and asked him to dance with him. And she even held her hand out. Billy decided, you know what? Maybe I should take a break. Take 5. Cause what could a dance do? So they danced, and everybody started looking at Billy and one dancing with one of Jane's girlfriends. It's kind of like a guy who is sober is dancing with one of the girls from the crew, and she was also sober. She didn't want to disrespect her crew, but she knew that she found a match. And her name, she actually, while they were conversating and dancing, he asked her name, and let's say her name was, well, Charisse. Charisse. And then he realized, oh, wait, you was in my class. Because they were both in college. Yeah, it's weird. And you were the one that actually helped me pass my exams. So it's kind of like things started to click up for Billy and Charisse. They were having a good time dancing, and they actually got along. At a Christmas house party where a lot of people were turned up, like the BYOB events, bring your own bottles. And they actually had a good time dancing, and everybody was really, really shocked to see how Billy, for bringing Brisk, coming to his senses and making every day count. But because of that, hey Amanda, because of that, he had no other choice but to play it off smooth. So the Christmas party, he and Charisse actually pulled it off. But when June and the other girlfriends checked out, one of their friends, one of their crew, dancing with Billy, because you gotta remember, they were at the same red light, bumping "All I Want for Christmas Is You." But when Jane found out, like, excuse me, can I have a word with Charisse? Oh, well, don't worry, I'll wait. Let's just say that Jane got too offended, or to 0 to 100. She went off, whispering like, "What the heck you think you're doing?" And we were just dancing. And the guys that looked at him like, "Yo, you know Charisse?" They even know Charisse because they were at the same school. Everybody that was at the house party, the Christmas party, they actually remember Charisse. And then they started to congratulate Billy for coming into his comfort zone, stepping out his comfort zone. But the other guys that were at the party, he read Billy's book, The Story of His Life. Remember? Story of My Life. Right? He felt so heartbroken that he broke down and cried. And a lot of people heard him cry so He was like, yo, man, why you messing up the party? Even the DJ was like, yo, what's going on? So, oh, I'm sorry. I was reading Billy's book. His handwritten book. And everybody started coming to him like, hey, what's going on? Of course, Jane's other friends were like, well, even though they did not drink, Jane was the only one that was drinking. They came to read the book. Even the DJ was like, hold on, let me take 5. Jane started to be real sensitive, so over dramatic. Everybody stopped dancing. Like, when they read the book, even the guy who cried was like, that made me think about my mama. Whoever thought that he would have such potential? He should be a writer for real. Yeah. But the other guy, like, man, wait a minute, that's too personal. We can't be in his business. But it's a Christmas thing. Well, I feel like we need to give Billy some respect in return. Because of that, Charisse, like, still talking to Jane, who's overly dramatic. She actually stood her ground and wanted to tell Jane to step off. Like, sit down, you're too drunk. And because of that, she was about to walk back to Billy. And even the DJ was like, yo, you wrote that? Yeah. Hey, you got anyone got some brisks? Some brisk? I'm like, yo, count me in. Because while everybody was like, you know what? Screw the 40 ounce. I'm not drinking that stuff. So they started to follow Billy's footsteps and stay sober. And while they were reading, while one was reading a page at a time, actually 1 sentence at a time, they wanted to ask Billy what he meant based on what he wrote. And he even explained the incident where his family relative was hit by a drunk driver. But when people heard about it, the DJ is like, wait a minute, what car was that drunk driver driving? No, I don't know. But it had 2 headlights that were like up and down, and it had a chrome grille. I think it was like a 67 Pontiac. And then he was like, wait, are you talking about the GTO? What color was it? Well, it was nighttime, so we couldn't tell the color. So we had to say black. A black GTO, black Pontiac GTO. And it's like, if you were curious so much, DJ, then why ask me? Because I was there. I saw the whole thing with my own eyes. And of course, when he said that, everybody looked at him like, you? Well, if you know about the car, then who did? What more do you know about it? You know what's funny? For a few weeks, the police were wondering, we're trying to find out, paint the pictures, put the finishing touches on who killed Billy's family relative. car was a 67 GTO. You know what's funny? Jane Doe and her girlfriends, they were riding the same GTO. It was black. And it was parked outside the house. The same GTO that actually was ruined, like total. It ended up getting fixed. But who had enough money to fix the car? Well, honestly, BJ, no, not BJ, Billy did, because he had to pay the damages out of his own savings since childhood. Whenever he found a penny, he placed it in his piggy bank. From pennies to nickels to dimes to quarters to $1. And he even had the half dollars, which is a 50-cent coin. So rare you can find it. And he kept stacking money. And the highest he stacked up from his childhood to now, in college years, well, let's just say that he had 10,000, no, 20,000. But the GTO to be fixed was 12,000. So he had $8,000 remaining in the safe from saving. And I'm be like, wait a minute. The DJ had further details, and Billy, it came to a sense that he remembers the car, because you're like, oh my gosh, I saw the car myself. And everybody's like, yo, for reals? No, so for real. So for real. When someone asked him, are you for real? Like, so for real? And Billy said, so for real. And, of course, Jane Doe's girlfriends, number 2 and 3, as well as Charisse, they were like, oh, wait a minute. Are you telling me the car that we rode and saw you in was the exact same car that killed your family relatives? And everybody looked at Jane Doe's girlfriends like, what? Were you? Did you kill this man? Like, no. You don't understand. We were not there. It was actually Jane Doe who did this. Jane Doe was the only one that was in the car. And then all of a sudden, Jane Doe was so drunk. Like, man, screwed it. Wait a minute. And in the movie, you will see the camera zooming in like, oh my gosh. As in, Jane Doe got exposed for being a killer of Billy's family relative, for driving drunk and taking someone's life. But Billy was the one that paid her car for the damages. Why, that son of a gun. I mean, move out the way. Move. And then Jane Doe snatched the book, slammed it to the ground. All right, you son of a jerk. What the heck is going on here? Well, the DJ was asking what I wrote. He even told me what happened. So she was really mad. Jane was very mad when people found out that she was the one that killed Billy's family relative, leading to her getting so amped up that she actually broke a 40-ounce bottle, made it like a weapon, and everybody, oh, whoa, hey man, hey man, you know how much, hey man, you know how much I have to pay for this floor to get clean? You shut up. This is between A and B, me and him, so see your way out of it. She was threatening to put somebody in their place by killing them like a threat. Because she had her bottle like this, all glass and on the wet floor. About to give Billy the business because Billy finally figured out that Jane was the one that caused him to be silent. But you know what's funny? When something like that came to play, let's just say that the police actually arrived and they spotted the GTO, but it was now fixed. Yeah, let me see. Could this be the one? But surprisingly, the DJ at the party knew about the car accident, the drunk driver accident. No, a murder. And the last thing that had to be out of his mouth, the DJ's mouth, was the license plate. Well, hey DJ, you know about the license plate that was on the car since you was at the bar? You better not. He better not, or else I'ma kill you and him. I'm sorry, Jane. You might as well kill me first. The DJ wanted to sacrifice for Billy, cause he saw the accident. Billy paid the car, and at a Christmas party, house party, and a Christmas house party, DJ had to say the license plate. And what did he say? He said this: 603 NYL. 603 NYL. And the cops outside was like, okay, I think the answer was 603 NYL, as in 603 Noah, Yolanda, and Lawrence. And since one guy went out to get some fresh air because he didn't want any drama, a female followed it. Like, wait a minute, what are they doing? Are they thieves? No, check out the lights on top of the car. And guess what? They spotted a 1987 Chevrolet Caprice, the police edition. As you know how much I love box Chevys from 1977 to 1990. But that's besides the point. They spotted a box Chevy police car, red and blue siren lights on top, running the plates, and the man and woman that were at the party like, hey, excuse me, officers. And one of the officers had to turn the police light on him. Can I help you? Yes, we're looking. Yes, we're looking for the individuals responsible for a drunk driver incident a few weeks ago. We figured this was the right car. The right car. The GTO. Oh, and then all of a sudden, the lady said, "Yes, officer, she's in there, but she got a broken 40-ounce bottle. About to stab. She about to stab somebody to death with it." What? When she said that, police were like, "Come on, men, let's go." So they had to grab their guns and run to the door. Oh snap! Move! Let him in! Let him in! Meanwhile, oh yeah, oh, what was I? Oh yeah, and Jane, with the angriest look in her eyes, said, "Any last words, Mr. Billy, before I shank you?" Um, but before Billy said something, Charisse and the other girlfriends like, "Billy, you don't have to face this. Look, look, tell the look. Even if you tell the truth, she don't care. Look, enough is enough. You made your point. So what if the DJ exposed you for what you did? I thought you were past this. And he was the one that fixed your car." But the DJ was like, "No, enough, ladies. Let him, let him, let him have his peace one last time." And the guy and woman that went outside spotted the cops and told them to come in. He was like, "There they are." And of course, they spotted alcohol as well as the brisk drinks, but nobody touched the alcohol. The only person that was drinking was Jane, and she was about to lose her mind. And he said, "My last words, consider this a way, when I fix your car, consider this a way as in Merry Christmas, as well as I forgive you." Too late. Too late for that. So she was like about to shank him from the neck. And Charisse was like, "Jane, no!" And then, boom, boom, gunshots fired. Everybody was like, "Oh, snap!" And meanwhile, Billy closed his eyes, nods his head like, because he didn't want to see anybody die. But the bottle that was already broken, it was broken by a bullet. Jane Doe put down the bottle. Everyone, clear path. "Mr. Billy, are you okay?" "Yes, sir. Yes, now that you are here." What brings you here?" "We found the person responsible for your family relative's demise, and she's under arrest." "What?" "For drunk driving. For drunk driving and a hit and run turned murder." And if I understood correctly, you were the one that fixed her car afterwards. Why do that? Because officers, since it's the holiday season, I had a forgiving heart. And then all of a sudden, everybody was like, man, if only I did that for my friends and family. And even the DJ admitted the truth. It's true, officer. I told this all came from the book. And the guy who was crying earlier, like, yo, now that was crazy, yo. So while Jane Doe was getting carried out, handcuffed, read her Miranda rights, there was one thing that the other officer had to do. He actually gave the car keys, the GTO car keys, to Charisse, because she was really calm, confident, and the party kept going while Jane had to go to jail for what she did, because nobody likes alcoholics on a Christmas no. And because of that, everybody decided, you know what? Let's get rid of these St. Ides. Well, Jane Doe's girlfriends number 2 and 3, they got rid of the St. Ides that they brought. Like, they want to go follow the clear path like Billy, because Billy did so much with a forgiving heart, and everybody wants to have a forgiving heart for Christmas. Are you forgiven? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have a forgiving heart to right the wrongs, make peace, make amends, then go for it. And because the time is now, you can't wait till Christmas Day. And that's why I decided to come up with a story, a question where your heart is, especially for Christmas. Because Christmas this year is going to be tough to grasp for some, because a lot of people passed on and it's still in your head. But you got to think about the better qualities of life. And that's why I decided enough is enough. You got to keep it moving. So, after Jane was handcuffed and taken away, she no longer owns the GTO, the 1967 Pontiac GTO. The cops gave it to Charisse. And Charisse, she ended up hugging Billy, like saying, oh, thank Jesus for your life is saved. Thanking the Lord for Billy's life, because it could have been a bad one. It could have turned out deadly. And the DJ, he decided, since it's a holiday season, I got something for Billy. Everybody was cheering for Billy. And Jane Doe's crew, girlfriends 2 and 3, they were clapping. And they were really, and they was like, you know, Charisse, Billy's the right man for you. And guess what they played? The DJ played I Don't Want a Lot for Christmas, the Michael Bublé version of All I Want for Christmas Is You. And everybody was dancing. And the girl and the man and woman that was at the party that spotted the police officer checking out the GTO, well, it turns out they actually started dancing with each other. And man, they had a good time. Everybody had a good time dancing to Michael Bublé's slow rendition of All I Want for Christmas Is You, which led to Billy and Charisse getting their first kiss. So much quality, so much love, so much compassion between Billy, because he had a forgiving heart, but not knowing that one of the girls that he spotted right beside his 64 Impala were the killers of his family relative because of drunk driving. And everybody was so pleased. And the guy who cried and read his diary, he actually decided to buy a book on his own and follow Billy's footsteps and write his own story of his life. It's like it hit home for everybody at the party, the Christmas party. And after the party was over, Charisse and Bill in their flannel jacket with a hood, as well as Charisse along with Jane Doe's crew, girlfriends 2 and 3, because there's a four girl crew, but one of the girls, the main girls, got in trouble with the law, and it came back to haunt her. But because of that, she had to learn the hard way. Because a few months later, after she was found guilty, she had to serve 6 years in jail, between 6 to 15 years. She was actually obligated for an early parole after 9 years, and she also had to go through a rehabilitation in progress, as in no more alcohol. You need to get on the sobriety. And of course, Jane Doe's girlfriends 2 and 3, they actually started to empty out, like their hangout. They had to empty out all of Jane Doe's belongings, because a group of 4 now became a group of 3, and they called themselves Charisse and the crew. So Charisse took over because she had a mind that is so pure, thanks to Billy. And they also started dating. But when they left the party, everybody was like, yo, Billy, that was a heck of a night. You made me want to turn my life around. Yeah, if it wasn't for you, Billy, we would have all been in trouble. So thank you. Yo, man. And even the DJs gave him some dap, like, yo, man, you the man. Oh, by the way, the DJ gave Billy $50 as a way of saying, have yourself a merry little Christmas, bro. You deserve it. And everybody stayed sober. Meanwhile, Charisse and Billy, they exchanged numbers. And the guy who cried and read his book, he was like, yo, man, I'm going to follow your footsteps and tell the story of my life. Because now I see why you're always calm and quiet. Hey, it ain't easy, but somebody's got to do it. So they gave each other like a handshake, like a high five, and they bounced. Meanwhile, Charisse and the crew, no longer Jane Doe and crew, in their black leather jackets with the red and white stripes, they head to the GTO and they drove off. Charisse finally got herself a car. She's taking over the crew. And as for Billy, he got in his 64 Impala and he head home. You see, that little story right there gave me a reason why to tell y'all to think, because what would Christmas be like if it wasn't for this example, this story? You could tell that anybody can be brave enough to do what they need to do to survive. Even tell their stories, because we only live once. Like I said, you only live once, from the first episode, the recent episode. But for Christmas, it's a big deal. And as long as God allows us to see a brand new day, even the holidays, we have to learn to be forgiven, like Billy. We have to learn to help out and love each other, respect each other. It's like everybody respected Billy when the party was over and after Jane was arrested. A lot of things can change. So what you gonna do this Christmas? I know what I'm gonna do, and telling the truth is one of them, and working my way up to have a positive ending, like a happily ever after. Especially when you live one day at a time, because some days are better than others. But one Christmas is better than the other, like better than the years before. But it depends on how much you want to improve. So with all that being said, thank you for listening to what I got to say about Christmas in the year 2024 based on the example or story I brought up. And this episode has been brought to you by Sweet Ladies of the Week, which I should have brought that up from the first episode. But for the first episode, I dedicated for the Sweet Ladies of the Week, the late Ariane Hawkins and the late Annie Taylor. God rest their souls, because after one long year, I still felt like they need some credits, some flowers when it's due. But man, it's tough. But life goes on, especially when you live for the Lord day by day. Not only for last week's episode, as I'm making it up, I'm also dedicating this episode to the current Sweet Ladies of the Week. So who do I give recognition to for this episode? Well, I got two sweet ladies in mind. And those sweet ladies are both Shantavia Lawrence and LaTanya Young. So the sweet ladies from the last episode, God rest their souls, and this current episode, 4 sweet ladies in total. The late Ariane Hawkins, the late Annie Taylor, Shantavia Lawrence, and LaTanya Young. And for those sweet ladies, Shantavia and LaTanya, y'all deserve this, because it's Christmas. What better present to give you than a recognition, especially from this YouTube video that I'm making right now? It's like, you got my blessings, just like I got your blessings. Respect, love, forgiveness, a change of heart, change of mind. All that and so much more in the future. And for those that's watching, feel free to do the following things. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, TC Jones Edits. Click the notification bell and there will be more in the stores. Not only that, check out the last episode, which the link of that, the last episode, the first episode of Cold Man's Winter Season 6, it'll be in the description bar down below. And feel free to check out everything that I put out for the future, because Cold Man's Winter is starting off on a high note. But for this episode, I have to represent for the holiday season, because 2024 is almost over. And what better way to get through the end of 2024 than to get through Christmas first? So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching episode 2, Christmas 2024. 2024 from Cold Man's Winter Season 6. This is yours truly, Taylor Jones, signing out. I wish you a Merry Christmas.